Yo, what's happening, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host. Yeah, and I do hope you lot are all doing well today, mate. I really do hope that. Welcome back to Chelsea News, the daily series here on Football Therapy, where I go across football news media, look at the themes, look at what's being said, and give my opinion on this subject matter. But hey, more importantly, asking for yours. I'm very sorry I had a day off yesterday, but we back, baby. Today I want to talk about, do Chelsea really need Declan Rice? What will he bring to the table? Why does Frank want him? Are we going to get him this summer? Are we willing to spend loads and loads of money? And are people being reactionary after his poor performance in the opening day? Maybe. As Chelsea wait for Edouard Mendy, really we can only look forwards. I want to talk about Thiago Silva. Seemingly he was very, very important for Paris Saint-Germain as they implode in consecutive games away in Ligue 1. And also for a little bit of fun, I want to pose the question to you: do Chelsea have the best attack in the Premier League? Lots of positive, fun and exciting content for you boys and girls today. But first, a reminder to you to go check out OneFootball. Ding, ding, ding. That's right, OneFootball is a completely free, slick platform that has everything you want regarding the beautiful game consolidated into one easy-to-use application. Follow your preferred teams, whether it's club or national team, and it will give you the lineups, fixtures, stats, results, transfer news, everything you'll ever want regarding that team. I have alerts switched on for Chelsea Football Club, and now on the app you can watch selected European games, qualifiers for Europa League and Champions League, totally free on the app. So download it now and check it out by clicking the link in the top of the description. Alright then, let's get into it. Alright, so the deal is seemingly and reportedly done for Edouard Mendy, the new goalkeeper. I've spoken about him quite a bit. Go check out my last video. Very, very exciting indeed. Apparently he needs to have a medical, and then Chelsea will announce him probably after this weekend's, or tonight's game rather. But I wanted to talk about additional business before I talk about Thiago Silva and the Chelsea attack. So let's talk about Declan Rice, who, yes, had a bit of a poor performance in the Premier League on the opening weekend. This has driven a lot of conversation between Chelsea fans. Do we want this player? He costs too much money. Do we even need him? Well, I think this is Chelsea looking at a player they really generally want, and they're being opportunists because they're looking at West Ham at the moment. They're imploding in more ways than one, and I think Chelsea can probably use that as a pressure point to try and get their target for less money than he would otherwise cost. Now, David Moyes and West Ham have maintained he's not for sale and they won't sell him, but that has not stopped Chelsea. And let's be real, this is the football transfer business world. Just because someone said, we're not selling this player, often they almost always get sold, don't they, when there's that much noise around the player. Chelsea want Declan Rice. Declan Rice wants to come to Chelsea. I've maintained that he won't push a move or push for a move out of West Ham because he does have a close affinity to the club and the fans, but ultimately this is the end goal, back to Chelsea Football Club, the club he left when he was about 14 years old. Now, why did Chelsea want Declan Rice? Well, believe it or not, he's a really good footballer, but I think he was second in the Premier League last season for interceptions made or tackles. I did see that on Match of the Day or Sky Sports, and I'm pretty sure that was it. He was second for some form of defensive action. Basically, he's got a really good defensive nous, and yes, perhaps that last game out did not represent that well, but I think everyone's in a bad place at West Ham at the moment. His numbers don't lie, but I don't think that's the main reason why Chelsea want him. I think they want him for his inherent leadership in the central defensive areas, or whether that be CDM or centre-back. Something that I've maintained on this channel, that I've probably regurgitated a couple of times now, is Chelsea are a very quiet team. Matt Law spoke about this on the London is Blue podcast. He's been watching a lot of Chelsea behind closed doors last season, and he said no one talks in the midfield. Sure, we all have this perception of Jorginho that points around and often does tell people where to go, but in terms of a real commanding and vocal presence in the Chelsea midfield, there just isn't one there, man. And Chelsea look at Declan Rice, someone who can wear the captain's armband at 21 comfortably when Mark Noble's not around, and see Chelsea, or rather, not Chelsea, see West Ham to victories in the Premier League. His numbers tick the box, and then his inherent personality traits and leadership abilities tick the box. Plus his versatility ticks the box. All Frank Lampard's transfers have generally, or there has been a general recurring theme with versatility and adaptation. Declan Rice absolutely fits the bill there. He can play both centre half and CDM, and he could play in the back two or the middle of a back three as well. Very, very versatile. Basically ticks all the boxes. You know, like Edouard Mendy as a goalkeeper ticks the boxes for Chelsea's frailties. He's very tall. He always comes to claim balls. Kepa doesn't. He didn't apparently claim one cross last season, and Chelsea conceded loads from crosses and set pieces. So they've seen a weakness, and they basically plugged it with a solution. They did the same with Ben Chilwell as a good defensive left back, and it would be the same with Declan Rice, and of course with the attackers as well. Chelsea needed a left boot on the right wing, they get Hakim Ziyech. Chelsea need a gunman converter for all the chances they're making, they buy Timo Werner. They're a problem-solving project at the moment, and really, Declan Rice solves a problem, and that's why they want him. Whether they'll get him this summer, I'm not so sure. It might cost too much money. But if Frank Lampard's still at the club next summer, which would be an impressive feat, because then he'll be over the average tenure of a Chelsea manager under Roman Abramovich, I think Declan Rice will come then. Anyway, let's move on. Right, let's talk about Thiago Silva very quickly, only because the more I think about this and the more I reflect on the situation about his purchase, or rather his free transfer from Paris Saint-Germain, is how important he was to that team. Of course we know he's a titan of the game and recognised as a world-class defender, of course, in the autumn years of his career. Look at Paris Saint-Germain, man. Since the 2 games they've started Ligue 1, the domestic league season, they've lost twice. They're 18th in the league table. They've been a minus goal difference. They've imploded. They're starting fights in La Classique against Marseille. They had that massive fight yesterday. Loads got sent off. It just imploded. You have to imagine that with their leader, Thiago Silva there, he doesn't allow that to happen. That absolute loss of head. Everything fell apart. And possibly they don't concede those goals in the last 2 games, and possibly they even go ahead and win a game. I know they've had absentees, Paris Saint-Germain, because of people having the virus and stuff, but genuinely, Thiago Silva looks like the massive difference maker that is missing in that Paris Saint-Germain side, and he now plays for Chelsea. The more I reflect on it and the more I think about it, I'm getting more and more excited and more positive about Thiago Silva being a Chelsea player. So think about that, boys and girls. I'm not sure we'll see him tonight against Brighton, but generally feeling pretty good about it. Alright then, let's pose the question. I do want to talk about it. Do Chelsea have the best attack in the Premier League? You know, some United fans will say, no, we've got the best attack. Well, I'm not sure they do. And then of course, perhaps Manchester City and Liverpool fans. Well, Liverpool have the most settled attack, of course. But now Leroy Sané's left Manchester City. Aguero's 1 year older. Jesus is very good, but is he that good? And of course they've got Mahrez and Bernardo, but they're all good players. But do Mahrez and Bernardo, are they going to score 20 goals a season? Of course Mahrez is very much like Hakim Ziyech, a cultured left foot on the right wing. But for me, Ziyech is so much more than Mahrez. He's not just someone that's just going to play inside. He gets in those sort of narrow inside channels and plays long diagonals, almost Kevin De Bruyne and Trent Alexander-Arnold like. I'm not saying off the bat that Ziyech is better than Mahrez. They're both very good players. Mahrez is a Premier League winner for multiple clubs. I'm just saying Chelsea have got a very high quality player of that like on that side of the pitch. And of course they've just got a multitude of players. I think really buying Kai Havertz was the straw that tipped the camel's back that said Chelsea are or have the best attack in the Premier League, because Timo Werner, elite gunman, Ziyech and Pulisic, Chelsea's number 10, the sort of talismanic figure from last season that looks incredible now. And then they've got, you know, Hudson-Odoi, Tammy Abraham, Mason Mount, all these players in rotation. And with the attacking eights like Kai Havertz, it's looking pretty good. And of course, Giroud deserves a mention as well. Still widely recognised as the best target man in world football. If you put it all together and a high-octane attacking style, with Ben Chilwell and Reece James rolling down the flanks, all these forwards, all these attacking midfielders probably and should be recognised as the best attack in the Premier League. I only wanted to voice this opinion and talk about this now on this video because I saw some people talking about it, and I was talking about it when I was streaming on Twitch with people, and I was thinking, yeah, I mean, we do, right? Especially when we reflect on how City are a little bit older and, you know, Sane's gone. I'm sure they brought in the new boy, but is he as good as Sane? Probably not. And I want to reiterate, Liverpool have the most settled attack with their front three. Obviously very good, and they scored 4 goals against Leeds on the opening game, so you know, they're still very good. And I do think Manchester United have a good attack, but you know, without Jadon Sancho, I think Chelsea's attack is comfortably better. You know, you can add Bruno Fernandes to the attack, but if you add like Havertz, Ziyech, Pulisic, Werner, I just think Chelsea are better. Yes, Greenwood's a promising youngster, but I just think Chelsea have got it. They've got the best attack. Now, is that me being biased? I'm not so sure. So I want your opinions down in the comment section below. Let me know, do Chelsea have the best attack in the Premier League? Comment your opinion on that. I want to see it. Also, please do drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed the content. That helps me out a lot. Talk about Thiago Silva. Talk about everything I've spoken about in today's video, and I'll be down there communicating with you people in the comment section below. A quick plug for my Twitch channel. I've just become an affiliate on Twitch, and you can now subscribe if you want to and watch me play video games and help me on FIFA and Football Manager and Fall Guys and loads of other games, and that is twitch.tv/YansYard. Come hang out with me there. Other than that, I'm out, boys, so enjoy the football and I'll see you later.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.